a hallmark verse for us at our churches and a theme in terms of our preaching and communication. If we could just take this one idea that Paul says and put it back at the center of our thinking, it would reshape and I think reform the paradigm around what we do in church and how we talk about the Bible and how we address our culture. The imperatives of the New Testament are addressed to Christians. The imperatives of the New Testament are addressed to Christians. Non-Christians don't have to do what the New Testament says we're supposed to do. We should not expect them to do it. We should not judge them intentionally or unintentionally for not doing it. When non-Christians act like non-Christians, Christians need to quit being surprised. They're not us. They don't believe. They haven't embraced. And we have gotten, because we're the majority and speak with authority as an evangelical culture, we have gotten so good at trying to police the behavior of outsiders while ignoring our own behavior. That's called being a hypocrite. And if we would just police our own behavior and leave them alone, because it's none of our business whether or not they follow a biblical mandate, they're not Christians. Now, I didn't make this up. Here's what Paul says, 1 Corinthians chapter 5. I'll let you answer the question out loud. What business is it of mine to judge those outside the church? This is in the Bible. Have you seen this verse before? What business, and he even uses the J word, right? Okay, let me ask you. You answer it however you think you should answer it. Not through your denominational grid, but based on what you think I'm about to say. What business is it of ours to judge those outside the church? None of our business. Huh. But Andy, the prophets of God, you're not a prophet. You're not. That's an Old Testament thing. I don't even get me started on that, okay? You're not a prophet. You're a pastor. You're a teacher. You're an evangelist. Let's ask Paul. Hey, Paul, what business is it of yours to judge those outside the church? Well, let me tell you. Are you not to judge those inside? Well, then who's going to judge those outside if I don't lob my truth grenades out in the culture and the teenagers in this world and the politicians and the Democrats? That's not in there, but I'm sure, and who is going to hold them accountable if the church doesn't stand up for what's right? Oh, forgot about him. I thought I had to do that. I'm telling you, this one little snippet of scripture could change everything in your church if you put it in the middle and said, we're going to organize around this. This is going to drive the way we communicate and teach and write curriculum and how we talk about the Bible to children and teenagers and adults. God will judge those outside. We are supposed to judge those inside. Now, you know this. I'll just say it, but you know this. If for the past 50 years, the church had done a great job at policing our own behavior, we would not be able to build churches fast enough and big enough. Because what is more attractive than a group of people loving one another? I mean, if all we did was the 5 or 6 or 4, you pick them, if all we did was the top 5 one another's consistently, we would not be able to build churches big enough and fast enough. Who doesn't want to be a part of a group that loves one another, cares for one another, prays for one another, shares the burdens with one another, forgives one another, accepts one another? I mean, who doesn't want to be, who cares what they believe? I want some of that one another.